And we're back. Take number two. Welcome everybody,
Mm.
all you movie junkies and entertainment lovers, to Movie Junkies Media Talk. And I am once again joined by my co-host Javier. How's it going, Hav?
Very fine. I'm super happy dandy right now. Ooh.
Okay then. So we of course had for many of you who perhaps watched this live. We had a couple of technical issues and everything, so we're kind of trying to do a double take, but we're going to just try to get right into the topics here and just get to the main news today. So of course the first thing on the topic list today is of course the Mandalorian season 2 trailer, which we've been waiting
Ooh,
for a long
yeah.
time. And if you guys want to see what the topics are that we're going to talk about on the show, all you got to do is scroll down to the description down below, and you can see all the topics that we talk about on the show there. So yeah, and feel free to leave your comments down below on your thoughts on anything that your thoughts on any of the topics that we'll be talking about today, and anything that you think we should talk about in the future. So, Mandalorian season 2, Hav, go. What do you think?
I actually thought it was really good. What about you?
A little bit more on that, please.
No. Quick thoughts, then actually talk.
Well, this is what the show's all about, to actually talk. So just go ahead. Boom. Get into it.
All right. Um, I thought, well, I thought it looked really
All right.
good.
I'm gonna have to
Like,
ask that you turn down your volume just a little bit. Because the volume, I don't know why today, but the volume for you is just really, really loud. And I don't know why it's so loud today, because we haven't had this problem before, but so yeah. Anyway, continue.
please, please, I don't want any more problems. We've already had it too
I
much on
don't I
last
don't know
stream.
why you're so loud all of a sudden, but anyway. So yeah,
Right.
go ahead.
Like as always with the Mandalorian, the sets look amazing. Like it's just so good. It is so movie-like, and it's just like it just looks really damn good. And like I'm actually really interested in the story this time because uh with like Baby Yoda and everything, and we got like the narration from last seasons from the final episode. Like I thought it was generally like a really good season. Well, not season, trailer. Like
Mm-hmm.
it definitely showed like a lot of like what type of episodes we're going to be watching and everything. Like I'm just like super excited to basically see this.
Yeah, and what did you think of the kind of the story points and stuff and the plot details that they revealed in the trailer?
Um I honestly have to say I'm just really it really is gonna get interesting because we got like kind of like a Jedi um in the trailer. What I think is a Jedi. I thought she kind of looked like Ahsoka, but like uh
No, that
well
was not Ahsoka.
I know, but like
Well, you said you fought, but so I was saying she's not actually.
I know. Um
Why
but
did you?
we got kind of like a like we saw kind of like a Jedi in that
We
trailer.
don't know if it's a Jedi. It
Oh,
could be said.
it feels like a Jedi. Like you got
Well, yeah, but
like
okay.
the
Here's the
robe.
thing. Even though they we in the from the dialogue and stuff referred to, Mandalore the Great, and these I can't remember what the exact words were, but these force. I don't think they said force users, but they may have said sorcerers. I think sorcerers was the term that was used that called Jedi. But the reality is that even though they referred to them as Jedi, it could easily be any other Force users basically. So what we actually saw in the trailer may very well and actually probably most likely be Sith, probably I suspect, but who knows? May not be, but I think this is something that I and a lot of other people highly suspect. So yeah. Anyway, continue.
Um. Anyways, I am like a lot more interesting because we saw like we are definitely gonna see a lot more of the stormtroopers. Like it is like definitely interesting. I think we're even gonna be in like a like
I don't know if we are going to see that much more of the stormtroopers.
oh no, we're gonna I feel like we're gonna see a lot more.
Oh, you feel like, but yeah, because I was like, that was not something that they actually confirmed, and it didn't really seem like that from the trailers too much, really. But so, yeah.
But it feels like we're actually
But what were your
like in
thoughts
one
on the actual like concept for like kind of the story and stuff this season that they revealed in the trailer?
oh like it's definitely gonna be like it definitely it feels like it's gonna be a lot more interesting and everything.
Oh, so the
Uh,
first season story was not that interesting to you?
no, I think it's definitely gonna
Oh
pick
God,
up and
could you possibly move away from your mic a little bit?
there is that better?
Okay, that is better. That is better. Okay, I think you maybe just had it like really close to your mouth. Anyway, continue.
Um, I definitely feel like it's gonna be a great continuation from the first season. Like I'm definitely like I feel like it's definitely gonna be like a lot more interesting. Like with Baby Yoda and everything. Like I'm definitely more interested on seeing like what's gonna happen and everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but you're not gonna share your thoughts on that kind of the plot points and everything. But anyway, Ahsoka, I believe, is probably only going to be in one episode.
Yeah.
If you had to guess, what would you say?
What episode would it be?
No. I mean, whether or not she's because she could be in every episode for all we know. But if you had to guess, would you say she's probably only going to make one appearance, or could she be in multiple episodes? What are you thinking right now?
Hmm. I feel like one episode. I don't feel like
Yeah, I think that would make sense.
yeah.
But I mean, obviously, I loved how they pretty much told you everything that you need to know, but not whilst not giving away a lot of the major events of what will be happening in season 2. You know, they basically said that look, that this is his mission now. This is Mando's mission now, is to protect this child and to figure out where he comes from and return him to his people. That is his mission now, basically. And obviously, I think the effects obviously are magnificent. Like you said before, they are really movie like in that they
Mm.
feel like they could be taken out right of the movie. And I think so many other people are just so happy that they gave this that kind of treatment where they brought on a lot of, because a lot of the directors of the first season, and I'm assuming for the second season too, are a lot of like major directors and stuff like Taika Waititi that have obviously done a lot of these big motion picture type films. So you bring them in there with this big budget and everything, and of course you get phenomenal results. And clearly it's going to be continuing to pay off here. Now one of the things, of course, we got a couple of cool things. Obviously, a lot of people talking about the ending, which was very funny. That because that the child, of course, knows what's going to happen, so
Mm.
that was very amusing. And of course, we got the infamous "This is the way" and all that kind of stuff. We got a Tusken Raider. We've got a couple of characters from season 1 are going to be coming back, which is cool. So overall, it just looks like really, really great. And apparently, the entire season is going to be dropping all at once, and they're not going to do it like piecemealing it out like week after week. I think they need to stick to that. I don't think it's a good idea to drop the entire thing. Now, it might not be it. They might change that, and it might be a week-to-week thing. But yeah, but it looks like the entire season will be dropping on October 30th. But we'll see what happens. But overall, it just looks like a great continuation, and yeah, it's just fantastic. Any other thoughts before we move on here, Hoff?
No.
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 All right. Anyway, so yeah, so be sure to leave you guys thoughts on the season 2 trailer for The Mandalorian in the comments down below. Now let us move on. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of noises in the
No,
background.
that's just me drinking my water.
Right. Could
It's
you
nothing.
calm it down a little bit? It's just we're getting quite a lot of like weird
Literally
background
just
noises. I
water.
wasn't sure if it was but you're making a lot of noise with it. So could you stop that?
Right.
All right, thank you. Anyway, moving on to this next piece of news. This I know gave us both a bit of a chuckle. Of course, in the States, there's of course the streaming service CBS All Access, which is not one of the higher end streaming services. They have not actually been quite successful. Some of their original shows include the recent Twilight Zone series, which is actually pretty damn good. It's not amazing, but it is good. Of course, you got Star Trek, the new Star Trek shows, Star Trek Picard, Star Trek Discovery, and I believe they're also getting Strange New Worlds and stuff. So, but surprisingly, they are branching out a little bit, and they are actually apparently going to be rebranding the service and renaming it to Paramount Plus. Let that sink in. It's not a joke. This is real. They are actually ripping off Disney this much. I cannot believe this. I mean, first of all, before we jump into a little bit about kind of what's going on here, what are those noises? Can we stop? Can you stop with the noises being very, very loud with that? And it's a little annoying. But anyway, Hoff, may I ask you, what are your brief thoughts on Paramount? I assume that you're not overly impressed.
It's so stupid. Like, oh my god, Paramount! Like Paramount's just like the funniest movie company. Like, it's just like it's bizarre situation right now. Like,
why are they the funniest movie company?
No, it's just like how like just like with all the stuff they've done and everything. Like, it's especially with Paramount Plus, like just like the recent Paramount is just amazing. Like, just ripping off Disney like that much. Literally just copying.
Because obviously it doesn't take a moron to figure out that this is clearly a clear ripoff of the Disney Plus name, and even like the logo and how they had like the stuff like underneath, like you get this, like they did with the Disney Plus stuff. It's I mean, obviously we've seen the studios rip each other off for decades within the world of movies and shows, but I've never seen anything be ripped off like this. Like, this is like, whoa, like this is like, can they do that? Like, like it's that much of a ripoff. Like, this is something that you would expect them to like joke about on an episode of The Simpsons. You know what I mean? Like Homer, what's on?
No,
I'm more Paramount Plus. No. Like this would be a great Simpsons joke.
No,
but apparently the joke is real, and Paramount Plus, so CBS All Access is being rebranded as Paramount Plus. Now, Paramount, obviously, one of the legendary studios of all time. They've produced so many classic movies and stuff, had an amazing history. But it also, you don't have to be that much into, movies and entertainment to realize that Paramount, particularly in the last couple of years, haven't been doing quite so well. I mean, when you're one of the major studios, you have a problem when your big franchise is the Michael Bay Transformers movies. Yeah, that's a problem when that's your big money maker. Just saying. And of course, now the Transformers movies recently have not been making quite as much money as they had previously. Um, but Paramount, they've also flubbed up quite a lot. Sonic the Hedgehog, obviously, that whole kerfuffle with the design and everything, which to be fair, they did change, but it was only thanks
Mhm.
to really the director being a sane human being that he was like, I think people don't like the design, maybe we should change it. So they did do
Mm.
that. The movie still wasn't all that good in my opinion, but anyway, but they have kind of flubbed, Terminator Genesis, Terminator Dark Fate. Just I didn't think, I thought pretty pathetic. Gemini Man, I thought was pretty terrible. Although the Mission Impossible movies have continued to get better and better and better, and Tom Cruise has almost been single-handedly been the saving grace of the entire studio, almost. Because Transformers certainly isn't ranking in the money. I mean, Bumblebee did not do. I believe it was the least. Made the least amount of money out of all the Transformers films. I think even less than I think the first film, I believe. So that's not good, obviously. So Paramount, they've been kind of grasping at straws a little bit. They've been kind of falling behind whilst the other studios have been trucking ahead. But this just feels really just like a really like this is like an all-time low for them. Just to rip off the Disney Plus this hard. But even though that being said, I don't mind it. I actually don't mind it that much. I can because Plus in a way is now becoming that I can see that becoming like the thing.
Mm.
In terms of like the streaming services and stuff. Like I am
Plus.
expecting Peacock in a couple of months, maybe not a couple of months, maybe in like a year, to rebrand to Universal Plus,
Oh
and then
God.
HBO Max will then rebrand to
Uh,
Warner Brothers Plus. I can see that because and then that way Plus could almost become the thing that people see, and that way they know that, oh, this is where I can get all of this great new streaming content and everything, and I can see this becoming the norm. Now, with that being said, Paramount still ripped off Disney hard with this move, but I can get used to this. I can accept this. I'm willing to let them, move forward with this. You know what I mean? Like I'm not burning down, the house yet. You know what I mean? But
mm.
what do you think about that, Hoff? Can you see Plus becoming like the new thing, like HBO Max, Peacock, stuff? I mean, who knows? Maybe Netflix would even become like Netflix Plus. That would be really hilarious. But,
No.
no. So what do you think, Hoff?
Oh, I guess I can see a reason. Like it's the streaming service sign. Uh,
Yes.
uh, I guess.
Not a fan.
Well, no.
Okay. Anyway, but and some of the content and stuff, they're gonna have like free original shows. There's one show called The Game, which apparently is actually a revival of a show called The Game. There's a show called an original show called The Offer, which is about the making of The Godfather, apparently. Then there's like some
Okay.
MTV behind the scenes thing. So I mean, compared to Disney, well, all the Disney Plus originals, it's pretty pathetic, honestly. And even compared to Netflix's original content, which isn't really like any stuff from the major studios, even their content is pretty better compared to this. But apparently there'll be a lot of archive titles and stuff that Paramount owns, obviously. But another big piece of news is that not only will CBS All Access be rebranded as Paramount Plus, but they do intend to introduce Paramount Plus overseas. So it's no longer just going to be in the States. They're introducing it. They're going to break the mold. They're going overseas. So that's going to be very interesting, considering that obviously a lot of the CBS All Access content, original content that is, has been piecemealed over different services and stuff throughout the world. Like I think most places around the world, Star Trek Discovery is on Netflix, I believe, and like Picard, I think, is on like Prime, and so it's going to be a little bit interesting to see kind of how much stuff is then left for the. But we'll see what's happening. But what are your thoughts on your Paramount Plus? Being what is it? You still don't like the name?
No.
But what are your thoughts on it? Going worldwide, them expanding their regions with this service.
Um.
Hello.
I don't know. Like,
Well, do you think it's a good thing or do you think it's a bad thing?
It's good. It's good.
All right, but so will you be subscribing to Paramount Plus, or have they not bought you as a
No,
customer?
because of the name. Because of the name. No.
Really? But if they put out some like really great,
I
amazing,
have to do a lot.
all right.
I'm sorry.
Could you turn down your volume just a little bit again? You just thank you. All right. Anyway, moving on to our next topic here, which is very, very exciting, and that is Superman. The animated series is finally coming to Blu-ray. I think a lot of people knew that this was going to be happening sooner or later. Of course, we first got Batman the animated series, then we got Batman Beyond, and I think most people were like, well, it's Superman the animated series is probably next, and apparently it is. But we shouldn't be that excited because apparently this is going to be a Warner Archive title. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Warner Archive is exactly, is that it's kind of a subscription based, kind of low print run of stuff from Warner Brothers Archive that gets released on both DVD and Blu-ray. And Teen Titans just recently got Blu-ray released from them. I believe it was Justice League Unlimited. That was where the Blu-ray release came from. They've released the first season of the Mask animated series. They recently released Doc Dodger's third season after we waited for that for years and everything. But the thing about Warner Archive titles is that not a lot of effort is put into the releases. They're very standard releases, like not a ton of efforts put into the artwork and stuff. And the actual cover art for the complete series Blu-ray set is literally the same as the DVD set. Like it's completely the same. So unfortunately, it looks like this actually is not going to be a deluxe edition like the Batman and Batman Beyond series were. So unfortunately, this is a little bit of a downer. So again, because it's a Warner Archive title, it most likely won't be available outside of the US. So anybody living outside of the US will have to import it. Now, the one good thing is that most of Warner's stuff is region free. I don't know why, but Warner Brothers, unlike a lot of the other studios, most of their stuff is not region coded. I don't know why, but they just don't do it. And I mean, I gotta respect them for that because region coding is one of the most stupid inventions ever. Like, it should not I mean, region coding, I get why region coded was invented, but region coding should not be able to stop someone from watching it on a certain player. Like, that is the dumb part of region coding. But anyway, so most likely a lot of people will probably be able to import in stuff, but that's unfortunate. And of course, the other unfortunate thing about Warner Archive titles is because they're low print runs, you're normally paying almost double the price for what that you would normally pay for it. So, for instance, Duck Dodgers, I not that long ago I bought the third season, which we waited years for, and it ended up costing double the price that I paid for the first two seasons. So, which is so I ended up had to pay the same amount twice, basically, for just one more season. And then on top of that, you compare the artwork. The artwork for the first season is really poorly done compared to like the first and second season artwork. So it's like, why am I paying for less? But anyway, but of course, the main reason, of course, is that low print run. There's not a ton available. So that's the unfortunate thing, is that it's not going to be like the Batman the Animated Series was, which is a shame because Superman the Animated Series is actually pretty renowned. It's not obviously as fabled and as talked about as Batman the Animated Series or even Batman Beyond or the Justice League shows for that matter. But it actually is a really great series. And I have only ever seen like the first couple episodes or so. But it is very much, and the Batman Superman crossover that they did, but it is very much on the same level as the Batman the Animated Series, but very much for Superman. And it's a really great series, and I highly, highly recommend that you guys pick it up when it comes out on Blu-ray, because it is a great series, and definitely laid the groundwork for like the Justice League show and Justice League Unlimited and everything. And yeah, it's just nice that it's going to be getting the Blu-ray treatment at all. So, what are your thoughts on Superman the Animated Series finally coming to Blu-ray? And before I let you get into it, they have announced that it will be released in sometime early next year is when it's going to be released. So anyway, Hav, go.
I am super excited. It is still a shame about the Warner's archive. That's Warner's archive.
Well, it's not a shame because Warner Archive actually they put out a lot of stuff that we probably wouldn't have gotten anyway. But I get what you're saying. It's a shame that it's a Warner Archive title, but it may end up getting a proper release. But it's unlikely because most of all of the other Warner Archive stuff has not been released at all. Like for instance, they released Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends season 3 on Warner Archive. And the first season, obviously, the first 2 seasons were released years ago. You can still get the first season really cheap to this day, but season 2, for whatever reason, is completely out of print, and you literally cannot get season 2. And it's like season 3 comes out, and you have to again double the price that you would pay normally for the first season. It's like, okay, well, why would I want to get season 3 when I can't even get season 2? It's like, for this price I should be getting seasons 3 and 4. Like, what, But anyway, that's the only annoying thing for Warner Archive. Again, if you're actually like a proper subscriber to Warner Archive, which again is something only if you're in the US really, is that I believe the price is not quite as steep. But if you're in other parts of the world and you have to order it, import it, then it costs you quite a lot more because obviously low print run. So yeah, anyway, back to you, Hope.
Okay. But even with all of that, I'm really excited to see the series get put on Blu-ray. Granted, yeah, we'll have to pay probably not too much, but I am really excited to see the series because I actually do want to kind of watch some episodes of it because I have watched the crossover with Batman, and that was really good. So I am excited. I am really excited for it.
Have you ever seen a single episode of the series?
No, only
so this will be completely new to you if you end up watching it. Yeah. So I'm sure you'll sure share your thoughts on this news in the comments down below. Anyway, moving on to our next topic is, of course, we have some more new details on the upcoming Flash movie. Of course, like I mentioned before, well, actually, technically, it was only in the first take on the stream, but is that of course we had the second part of DC Fandom, and I think it was this past week, and it was mostly just them doing the Q&As and stuff. There wasn't a whole ton of new stuff that really came out, but one of the big things that came out was that during the Flash Q&A is that the director Andy Muschietti basically gave us a little bit more insight into kind of what we're going to be getting with this movie. And he confirmed that it is, in fact, very heavily based on Flashpoint. Now, the wording there is very important. Heavily based on. It's not going to be Flashpoint. It's just it's taking a lot of inspiration from that story, which we've kind of known for a while, but it's nice to kind of have it, be on the dotted line, be, confirmed, now, so we can say it confidently. But yeah, so will it be heavily based on Flashpoint? And the other thing was that there are going to be lots of other DC Comics characters showing up in this movie.
Ooh, yeah.
Which is very exciting, again, if it kind of fits in with Flashpoint, because Flashpoint has a lot of different characters and stuff with it. But they did reiterate and say that it will still very much be the Flash's movie. Like, he will still be very much the main character that will kind of tie all these different characters and these different timelines and stuff together. And the last thing was that they said that it restarts everything, but keeps everything the same at the same time. I believe that's what the quote was. I might have messed that up a bit. But anyway, so Hav, what are your thoughts on that?
Ooh, that is a, yeah, I remember like that is like still like a really like interesting to like the film, because we technically, like, there's like a lot of interpretations on that phrase and everything. Yeah. And that just gets me like
what is your interpretation though of that phrase?
It's kind of
Hello?
No. I was actually just thinking about it.
Well, we haven't thought about it before?
No, it's been like the back of my head. Like I always thought like maybe like it's kind of like a
okay. Well, anyway, it's obviously there's a lot of interesting ways to kind of interpret that. I think pretty much what it says is that basically we're sticking with, the DCU and everything, but a lot of very much like what they did with the Crisis crossover in the CW universe, a lot of things will change in terms of how like the universe is connected to stuff. And I think what this movie will basically confirm is that everything is basically now part of the DCEU, that the DCU is basically everything, and that stuff like Matt Reeves, the Batman and Joker and stuff like that is just simply a different universe. It's this Earth or that Earth or whatever, and it's now all part of the DCEU. It's all just the multiverse now, and so I think that's going to be a really great thing for them to kind of go on. It's gonna, I think, get rid of a lot of the confusion and everything, and it also leads to the possibility of more crossover and stuff, possibly, bigger events and stuff in the movies in the future. So I think it pretty much, that's how I would interpret that. But what I do want to ask you though, Hav, is that they said obviously that it's going to be very heavily based on Flashpoint. I'm going to see a lot of other DC characters. For you, how high is this on like the meter of excitement for the upcoming DC movies?
Very high.
Yes, very high. And what do you think? And does this get you any more excited for the movie, or is this kind of just reiterating a lot of the stuff that you kind of thought already?
It gets me like a lot more interested in the film, and it also spikes up the exciting meter.
So you are more excited. Yes. All right, cool. All right, so and then another thing that came out is about another little DC movie called Black Adam. And now, of course, Black Adam has been for quite a while now. Has been scheduled to come out in December of next year, yes. And I believe and apparently it is going to be starting its production in January. Now, it was supposed to start production this year, but obviously due to everything that's going on in the world and everything, they weren't able to do that. So now they're planning to start production in January. A lot of people, of course, understandably, are worried about this and don't think that this is enough time for them to meet their deadline, whether it comes out in November or December, because they want it to be like a end of the year release still.
Yeah.
But to that, I will say this: another Dwayne Johnson movie called Jumanji: The Next Level did pretty much exactly the same thing. They started filming that movie in January of 2019, and they finished it, I believe it was in May of 2019, at least the production part of it. And so if they can do the same thing with Black Adam, then I think we'll be fine. And Jumanji Next Level was a very good movie. It wasn't the greatest movie in the world, but I mean, it just goes to show you that it is possible. It can be done. Harv, does this get you worried, or do you think no, they're gonna do it? It's gonna be fine.
I think it's gonna be fine.
You think that is enough time for them
I
to
think
meet that deadline?
Yeah, I think that it's enough time. I think they can
And
to
be fair, people obviously have been known to, work a little bit better under pressure sometimes. So that ticking clock may be actually a good thing, perhaps, and that it will only, kind of infuse more adrenaline into making that movie. And I mean, I'm still just as excited for it. I myself am not any more worried about it. I'm just glad to hear that it's finally going to be going into production. And I mean, it really is simple. It's like if it doesn't, if they think that if they get to a certain point in the filmmaking process, and they're like, you know what, we're probably not going to be able to meet that production. It's pretty simple. Warner Brothers just say, Black Adam now coming out in May of 2022 or whatever. Like it'll just move. It'll just move as that. But I think it has a really good chance of meeting that deadline. And So anyway, and now moving on to our last topic for today, which is this. Neve Campbell will return as Sidney Prescott in the upcoming 5th Scream movie. Now, before we get into this, they actually also announced that somebody else is coming back too.
Really?
And I don't remember what the actress's name was, but it is the actress that played the cop in the 4th movie, I believe it was, the one that got saved by the bulletproof chest. I know, Hav, if you remember that character from the 4th film. At the very, very end, it was because she was wearing the bulletproof chest, she got saved. She was the other cop.
And that was in the 4th.
Yeah, the 4th movie. Anyway. All right, it doesn't matter if you don't remember. But anyway, so another character that survived from the 4th movie is coming back as well, apparently, which is cool. So that actually, so in addition to that, they also confirmed that the movie is actually going to be taking place in Woodsboro. So, like the 4th movie did, because of course the 1st movie did, the 4th movie did, and apparently the 5th movie will as well. So that's very exciting that we're, because there's kind of a question of, will it take place somewhere else now? But no, apparently we are going back to Woodsboro, so that's exciting. Now, I believe that, I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, but did anyone else survive any of the other movies? I believe pretty much everybody that survived the first 4 movies is coming back pretty much.
Yeah.
Because everybody, who else is left? Everybody else is pretty much dead, So it's going to be interesting to see. But one thing that is interesting before I get into your thoughts is that Matthew Lillard, who of course was in now, of course, spoilers a little bit for Scream here, folks. If you haven't seen it, we're going to kind of spoil some stuff from the 1st movie and stuff. But of course, in the 1st movie, he was one of the killers.
Oh yeah.
Now it's been a while since I watched the Scream movie, so I don't remember the details and stuff too much. But of course, he did meet his demise by getting a television thrown onto his head. So recently, Matthew Lillard put out a post that said, "Well, it was only a TV.
Oh,
so maybe he's probably fine." Because, people have been known to survive when getting giant televisions smashed onto their head. So, all right. Now, that could be him just having a little bit of fun, or it could be his cryptic way of confirming that he is coming back for this movie, which there's a lot of people that really want to see that, even though we thought he was dead. However, I mean, you got to remember, Jamie Kennedy obviously got, killed in the second one, and they figured out a way to bring him back. Spoilers for Scream 2 as well. So anyway, spoilers for all the Screams. Anyway, so they figured out a clever way to bring him back. So who knows? Maybe it's going to be like that, where he'll still technically be dead. But Hav, what are your quickly before we get into Neve Campbell and come back? But what are your thoughts on the possibility of maybe Matthew Lillard showing up, or do you think that this is just him having a little bit of fun and he's not actually going to be showing up?
Like, I'll like they have to do like a really good explanation to
his
how
his face is all just like mangled up and burned. Yeah. So I mean, do you think this is him just having some fun, or do you think no, this is him confirming that he's coming back as well?
I don't like, for real. I don't think I think this is just for a joke.
You think he's joking?
Probably because since like there's a lot of news of just the original cast. Like,
well, yeah, but that's the thing. They might want this to be like a surprise, which obviously it would be because he's supposed to be dead. So I mean, I kind of believe it. I gotta be honest. I think they've figured out a way. I think he's coming back. I think he's probably alive, and we'll see what happens. I don't think he'll be the killer, but that'd be kind of. I mean, look, Matthew Lillard is just fantastic. He's just a brilliant actor. So like, if they bring him back, I'm totally on board with it. So who knows? Maybe he'll turn out he had like a twin brother or something that was like they could go that route. But anyway. And another thing, though, I want to say is that I really hope that the movie is actually called Scream 5, because Scream, unlike a lot of other franchises, has been one of those franchises where they have actually been able to just have it simply be called Scream, Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4. And I really hope they just continue on that simple title. Like, please don't call this movie Scream Resurrection. Please don't call it that. And don't do what Blumhouse did and just call it Scram or just Cream or something. Like, just actually call it Scream 5. Because if they actually call it Scream 5, I will have a lot of respect for them to do that. But what are your thoughts, Hav? On actual Neve Campbell finally being returned to come back? Did you think it was gonna happen, or did you think?
I think it was gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah.
She's been in like all of them. She's basically like the main character.
Well, yeah. I mean, she basically is. My main thing was that as long as all three of them come back, I'm good. Like, you don't need to bring anybody else back. That just as long as you have those three, because they're like the three main core characters that have drove this franchise. As long as they come back, I'm good with it. So yeah, but it's gonna be interesting to see. Obviously, no plot details right now or anything. But obviously, this one unfortunately will not be directed by Wes Craven because, of course, he unfortunately passed away. How excited are you for this movie? And do you think you would have been more excited if Wes Craven was still alive and he was directing it?
Yeah. But I am interested if like the Scream films can actually like still be great, and like by other people directing it. Like I am interested, and of course like the main cast of characters are coming back, so I'm on board. I'm on board on the exciting train.
And and it's another thing I want to point out is that we basically, since Scream 3, we basically get like a Scream movie a decade now, basically. So it was like a decade when Scream 4 came out. It had been a decade since Scream 3, and now here we are. And when Scream 5 comes out, it would have been a decade since Scream 4. So it's like once a decade we get another one of these. So that's kind of amusing. But anyway, so who knows? Maybe in another 10 years' time, we'll get Scream 6, so maybe, if that's, who knows, they might be like, yeah, this is how we're going to do it from now on. But anyway, so be sure to jump in the comments down below. Let us know what your thoughts are on, this now confirming that all three main cast members from the Scream movies are coming back for the fifth movie. Harv, what do you have any idea where they might go with the story with this one? Or are you just kind of like, well, I'm just gonna wait and see?
Yeah, just wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, are you excited about it?
Oh, I am excited. I
Yeah,
am
I'm
excited.
pretty excited. I hope it's gonna be good. Obviously, we had the Scream series, which lasted for about 2.5 seasons or whatever. And it was not good. I watched like the first 2 episodes. I mean, I know that it has some fans, but I think the main thing is that it was Scream in name only. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like, did you watch the
no.
series at all? Did you see anything on it or anything?
Mm-mm.
No. Well, basically, like, it didn't even have the ghost face mask. It wasn't set
Oh
in
wow.
Woodsboro. You didn't have any of the other
Just
characters from
Scream.
it. It was Scream in name only. Although to be fair, it was the same concept basically. But they did the
Right.
first 2 seasons. Then they like completely rebooted it. Completely got a new cast. Did only like season 3 was on like 6 episodes, but they did bring back like the ghost face mask, and then it got
Mhm.
canceled, and it was
Oh.
done. But so I hope it's better than that. Because that was not good. But one thing I do want to say is that I really hope that they continue with the stab movies, which are the
Oh
movies
yeah.
within the Scream movies. And I love the beginning of Scream 4, where it was like every time you think the movie starts, it just turns out you're just watch like another part of a stab movie. And I think we got up to like stab 6 or 7 in Scream 4.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so I would love it if like in this next one, we get like stab end game or something, like just like some like just ridiculous amount of stab movies, like stab or just S9 the stab saga or something, give us some stuff like that. That will be very, very funny. But anyway, so that is it for this week's Movie Junkies Media Talk. So hope to see you all again, hopefully this next week. So until then, be sure to consume as much entertainment as humanly possible. And yeah, any thoughts before we go home?
No, just everyone have a good day and hope you enjoyed the stream.
Yep. All right. Catch you later.